Hello and welcome to the Broad Street Hockey Podcast. We made it. Last episode of August here. Unofficially, the summer will be ending next week. I am your host, Ryan Gilbert. Joining me, as usual, is my co-host, Joe DeMarini. How we doing this afternoon, Joe?
Pretty good. My dad just tried to call me literally at the moment we went live. So I texted him and I was like, I'll call you back afterwards.
Have him call into the show. He want to talk some Flyers?
Honestly, I think my parents are Flyers fans, but they are so sick of me talking about the Flyers all the time that this is my way to give them a break from it. You know what I mean?
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, we're doing pretty good. There's been a break in the heat. I've got the windows open right now. If the construction starts, well, sorry to all of our headphone listeners. How you doing, Gilbs?
Yeah, I'm doing good. A little tired. I caffeinated up before this. Got beaned up. So
Me too.
that intro music, the countdown music, it always lulls you back in. So, but
Yeah,
feeling good here. Got some things to talk about. Got some. You got a good article go up today. Some prospect rankings. Some questions from the Discord. So should be a good show here today. Of course, make sure you guys are subscribed to the Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel, getting videos up there, clips, 25 under 25 stuff up there as well. And of course, the podcast feed on Apple Podcast and Spotify. If you're subscribed one spot, subscribe another spot. Subscribe everywhere. Give us the downloads. We like, you like us. So like the video as well. Subscribe, comment, let us know what you think. We appreciate
Ring that notification bell. Yes. Ring that notification bell.
Ring the bell.
Yeah, well, Phil's could really use a bell ringing after last night's game. That was a disaster. But this is a Flyers podcast, so let's talk some hockey.
Yeah, let's get right into it here with the title of the podcast: Flyers drafted top talent without tanking. You had an article go up today on BroadStreetHockey.com behind the paywall, $5 a month. You can support the writers, podcasters, everyone you see here doing the work. There's no big conglomerate taking a chunk off the top, so everything goes to the independent writers here. And the Flyers haven't tanked, but got the talent teams tank for. Matvei Michkov, they got at 7. He's one of the top young players in the league. Porter Martone, they got at 6, depending which ranking you look at. He's a top 5, top 10 prospect in the league going into this season. Like, the Flyers their plan was to, build a culture, don't tank, and they still got the top talent without tanking.
They sure did. I don't know if you'll be able to pull it up later, but there is one player I used some charts and facts and figures to talk about, and a visual aid will be useful. But on the subject of Michkov and Martone, going into the draft in 2023, or at least that year, Michkov and Bedard were like the top 2 guys in that draft. Russia invaded Ukraine, so Michkov couldn't play in international tournaments. People couldn't see him in, they couldn't get the scouts out. So he fell down the draft boards. EP, Elite Prospects, had him as the 4th prospect. What else? Scott Wheeler, I think, had him 2, and Corey Pronman had him 3. Top 3 prospect, could have gone 1 in a normal year. Flyers get him at 7. That is a player that you strip your team to the studs and burn to the ground to get. And then again this year, Porter Martone. He was like a top 3 prospect of the draft in most rankings, and Elite Prospects even said in our circle, among the scouts here, this is a guy we could see going 1st overall, and we wouldn't bat an eye. So the Flyers got 2 players that are exactly the profile of what a team would tank for, and they didn't have to tank to do it. They just kind of got lucky and got him at 7 and 6.
Yeah, the Flyers, they didn't tank. They weren't bad intentionally. They were just bad. They were just a bad hockey team, bad goaltending, bad defense. Briere coming in, having to tear everything down. So, they still kept Konechny, kept Sanheim. Even, they try to trade him. But looking back at that 2023 entry draft, you got Bedard at the top. You got Leo Carlson, who's a RFA coming up shortly. Then Adam Fantilli. Fantilli could end up being better than Michkov if you're including positional at center. He's looking really good there in Columbus. But like Will Smith, Reinbacher, Simashev, like I know Michkov was like, I'm not going to Arizona, so he wasn't going to go 6. But like to get Michkov at 7, he's easily a top 3 player in this draft. Like Bedard, Bedard, I feel like people are too down on him right now after one bad season, one not great season. He's still going to be a top player from there.
28 points in 150 games at age 20. That's crazy. Like, guys, he's gonna be real good.
On a Blackhawks team where his
Nick
best
Foligno,
Ryan
Todd
Donato,
Bertuzzi.
who's
No,
that?
Tyler.
Jason Dickinson? Is Jason Dickinson?
Oh,
Is he that other
Yep.
center there? So yeah, it's getting Michkov at 7. We were there at the draft party at the live
Sure
casino.
were.
Everyone was pretty happy with that one there. So yeah, getting Michkov in the 2023 draft was clearly the start, the turning point of really just the first big, huge move by Danny Briere. Be like, all right, we can do this.
Yeah, I mean, I get the arguments for Carlson and Fantilli as well. Like you said, centers, premium position. I can see why you would want to take them over a smallish winger, but if Michkov had been a Canadian farm boy playing that way going into the draft, he'd have been top 5, no question.
Easy top 5 there. If not, he might be up there with Bedard. Like I know Bedard people were talking highly of, but if Michkov was in the juniors and not in the KHL, questions about if he can come over, when can he come over.
They're the same height too. Like, I think they're both 5'10". I think Bedard and Michkov are both 5'10".
Michkov's definitely built better though. Like he's got those trunks. He's got those Martin St. Louis trunks there.
Yeah, that's true. It's the same thing with Bobby Brink. He looks like a sweet little baby boy from like the chest down. That kid's just all hockey. Like he's built like a tank.
Yeah. So Michkov, I mean, a great rookie season, ended up 4th in the Calder Trophy voting. Playmaker, also a shooter, also a scorer. Our good friends at FanDuel here, Rocket Richard odds to have the most goals this season.
Ooh.
I'm not sure if Michkov can get there this season, but 300 to 1. Like, it's just throw $1 down, you get 300 if he wins it. Just like a fun bet there at FanDuel. They got plenty of odds you can check out there as well. They don't have any odds up for him to win the Hart, which is what I was looking for first, because I feel like
Wow.
that's gonna be, should be in his future. I don't know if that's setting the expectations too high. I know we've seen Kucherov not get the votes due to some reasons of being Russian and not really trying at
In a winger.
all-star competitions and being a winger. But he's won it before, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, check out all of the good options to bet on there at FanDuel, and thanks to them for sponsoring the show.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, obviously Michkov was the big one, and then yeah, you mentioned him this past year, Porter Martone, getting him at 6. Like, I wish we viewed him as an option going into the draft, because I feel like people would have been so much more excited about him falling to 6. But we assumed, like, all right, he's going to go 3. He should go 3 to Chicago. Should go 3 to pair him with Bedard, give him a big winger, see if he can stick at center. But no, teams were very center heavy. The Flyers like, all right, we'll take the best player available, and that was Porter Martone.
Yeah, and I think we talked about it a lot. It was James Higgins all day for both of us. But if Porter Martone was still there and you were up with James Higgins, it was a conversation to have. Like, if it was Higgins over Frondell, you take Higgins. If it was Higgins versus Martin, you take Higgins. If it was Higgins over Desnoyers, I think I'd still take Higgins. But if Martone was there, that was worthy of debate. And going into the draft, I think most places had, there they are. I think might have had Martone higher than Higgins. I know that Elite Prospects did. I think Scott Wheeler might have had Higgins over Martone. I think Kronman probably liked Martone more than Higgins because he usually goes for bigger prospects, bigger players. But no, the way that draft board fell, the Flyers got a top 4 prospect at 6.
So I mean, thank you to Barry Trotz and the Nashville Predators for taking Brady Martin at 5, giving the Flyers the option to take Martone or Higgins or O'Brien if they wanted. Apparently they were high on O'Brien, from depending on who you listen to. So I wanted Higgins, but when Martone was there, I was like, all right, just get one of those two and I'll be happy. Because Martone here is Misa's great. Like
He's
Frondell, probably going to be a good two-way player in the NHL. Same thing with Desnoyers. We'll see how his goal scoring translates from the Q up to the professional level. But like
and after the
Martone,
surgery, he had like dual wrist surgery or something.
Yeah. And Martone, I mean, he is going to be a game-breaking player. Like the Kachuk brothers are his comparables, possibly his ceiling, and
There's
that would
another
be
comp.
fantastic.
There's
Who
another comp.
is it? Mikko?
So it's Mikko Rantanen. So the
Yeah.
elite prospect scouts were like, early in the season, it's because he was like dropping the gloves, and it looked like he was going to have that Kachuk level physicality. But it's more the vision and playmaking of Mikko Rantanen than it is the that hammer that the Kachuk brothers bring. Which, you know what? If I had Mikko Rantanen on my top line, I'd still be pretty stoked about that. And Martone's young enough to like learn to use his physicality, to use his strength and size. So I feel like he can still turn into not fully a Kachuk brother, but somewhere between a Rantanen and a Kachuk, you know.
I think I would want more of a Rantanen. I want more of that power forward that can score, not one that's going to be known more for being a rat, one that's known for a tough player to play against, because he'll put up you blink and he'll put up 2 points in a period. Like he can be someone that has a bunch of multi-point games there. So yeah, I mean, that's Martone and Michkov, the M&M boys. Should hopefully be a dynamic duo for the Flyers moving forward.
That Game 7, Period 3, where Mikko Rantanen just decided, we're not losing to my old team, and throws up a hat trick. Just, dude, if that's the kind of player that Martone can become, then like we have just an incredible prospect in the pipeline. Who, as we go through the 25 under 25. I don't think it's a secret he's going to be in the top 5, but like he's up there, and we're really excited about him.
Yeah, but I think we have, just for due diligence here, we have to go over the 2024 NHL draft, which the Flyers got a later pick than they probably should have, just due to John Tortorella squeezing every single point that he could have out of that roster. Also, like for Danny Briere finding someone like Sean Walker, who he was able to trade for a first-round pick because he played so well and helped the Flyers be in a playoff spot by the trade deadline, and very much in the conversation. Like, yeah, if they got Booyam, he's one of those, potentially guy you could put up here with a TJ Ginla, Yakimchuk, Berkeley Cadden, Zane Parekh. But if there was even a small chance that he wouldn't sign with the Flyers, you can't waste a top 12 pick on him.
No, and I posed this thought experiment in the article as well. Would you have rather the Flyers drafted 6th overall in 2024, then with Michkov, kind of, moved up the standings and picked 12th in 2025? So they would have had like Jack Nesbitt,
who they got anyway.
Who
you're very high on in the 25 under 25, apparently.
I cannot wait to do that video series. We have a video series coming out each week on the Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel. Give it a watch. We're breaking down kind of a review of that week's prospects that we've, some of them are not so much prospects, just the under 25 players in the Flyers organization. I believe it was Jacob and Thomas, I believe, did one last week for prospects 25 to 20. Yep, or 25 to 21. And then this week I will be joining someone to do 20 to 16. So tune in for that.
Yeah, I might be available for that, but I know we talk to each other a lot here, so I'm going to see if anyone else jumps in to that first. But I'm just glancing at your ballot here. You have I don't want to spoil it for people, but like you have Jack Nesbitt ahead of Alex Bump, which is kind of surprising to me. I mean, getting a little bit off track here. You have him above Bobby Brink. Oh, you're pushing my buttons here. Putting Bobby Brink below Jack Nesbitt.
One of my criteria when I do my ballot is they better be right. And because of what they gave up to get Nesbitt, they better be right. They better be right, because that is a huge risk to take. And if they botch those kinds of those decisions, then I don't have as much faith in the office, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But if it works out, then like, oh, they know what they're doing. They can take these risks. They can make these bold decisions, and we can trust them to get it right.
Yeah. So if the Flyers were a little bit worse here in 2024 and drafted like 5 to 8 range there, like who do you think they would have targeted? Like, do you think they could have got Demidov at 5? Would they have gone for the Russian duo there? Yakimchuk?
I
You
think
think
if they
Keith
could have
Jones?
gotten Demidov, they would have.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yakimchuk, I don't know if Keith Jones would be able to pass up on Yakimchuk though.
I mean, I think there were rumors about them trading up to try and get Berkeley Catton.
That's who I was going to mention next. He was a guy that both of us wanted, and a lot of mock drafts had going to the Flyers at 12, but obviously the Kraken took him at 9 or 8 to take him off the board.
Thanks, Seattle. They've only drafted centers in the top of the first round. It's crazy.
It's a center league.
I guess so. They're still a bad team. I don't know. Zane Parekh is really exciting. I don't know if that'll work out. TJ Ginla looks really cool too. Like there are good players, but I don't know if any of them have quite the same star level upside that Porter Martone does.
No. Or Michkov,
or Michkov. Like they'd be good, but I'm pretty happy with how it played out for the Flyers.
Yeah, and there's no one like besides Buyum, who all these other teams passed on: San Jose, New Jersey, Calgary, Seattle, Ottawa. Like they all passed on Z Buyum. The Flyers passed on him as well. And I know have our orange colored glasses here with Jet Luchenko, but Jet Luchenko was ranked 30th in Elite Prospects top 100 last week. Went over that with Jacob on a video there. Make sure you check that out. But yeah, like these guys after him, I don't know if I would take any of them over him right now.
No, probably not. I mean, maybe Cole Iserman, but no, knowing what we know now, I don't think I would take Cole Iserman. Just what we know now about the Flyers pipeline and who they have.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he's as necessary of a player.
Yeah. Yeah. And you brought up a pretty good point in your article, like looking at the players the Flyers have acquired. I mean, Chuck Fletcher, one of his only good moves was lucking into Owen Tippett, who has become at worst a middle 6 scoring winger. We want more from him. We want him to be a top 6 winger, but he'll score 20, 25 goals a year. Needs to shoot more, obviously, but
yeah,
trading for Zegras, a top
he's
talent.
Big, he's fast. He's big, he's fast. Like he's a unique profile in a Flyers winger core that didn't exist.
Yeah, exactly. There took a chance on him. 10th overall pick in 2017, then traded. Second overall pick?
Yeah, who's Nolan Patrick? The Flyers drafted Owen Tippett 2nd overall. That's how it's all worked out.
Oh, I was about
Sorry, yeah.
And then Trevor Zegras, they traded for. He was a 9th overall pick. Then they got Jamie Drysdale with Cutter Gauthier asking out. They're still able to get another top 6 pick for him. And they all have relatively high ceilings. Like you could see Tippett be a top line winger if he puts it all together. He has the flash, just need more consistency. Zegras, back-to-back 60-point years. We'll see how he does now after injury. In Drysdale, I don't think he'll ever live up to being a top 10 pick, but he's still very young. He's the same age as Emil Andre, I believe. And he just needs to get a chance on the power play, see if you can get his scoring up.
Yeah. I mean, they were distressed assets. That's why they were available for the Flyers. Although I don't know if I'd say Tippett was a distressed asset. They were just that Panthers team was stacked.
Yeah, but he never really stuck in Florida. Like he had chances with Barkov. He had chances with their top centers. He had 18 points in 45 games in the shortened season, and then 14 points in 42 games before the Flyers traded for him. Like he was someone that was destined to be a bust, and potentially someone like Florida wouldn't have even qualified at some point. Like a former first-round pick, so they probably would have. But he was getting to that point where it was like, all right, is this guy just not gonna hack it here? And then comes to Philadelphia, 27, 28, 20 goals in his 3 full seasons. So 40, 50 points from him. Like that's not bad.
That's great. And he's a redhead.
And he's
We need to keep the redhead. We need to keep the ginger quotient.
Flyers always need that. Yes, Flyers. And then there's one more, the riser. You have him labeled here in your article. I can pull up the graphic here. You want me to go with this one here? This graphic here. It compares Forster to Marco Rossi, Jack Quinn, and Alexander Holtz here. Who?
Yes.
I'm not sure if you cherry picked those names or if they were drafted around him.
That same draft year, and they were top 10 picks in the same draft year.
Okay, and the Flyers got Forster at 23rd. There were questions about his skating. He has kind of answered them a little bit. He keeps up out there. He's not Jack Nesbitt. He's not Matt Strome out there. So he's keeping up. And yeah, I guess like Rossi is the only other guy you would potentially want, but at this point you wouldn't swap Forster for Rossi, even if Minnesota valued Rossi like highly. I don't think you do that. Like, Minnesota is willing to trade Rossi, but you still wouldn't give up Forster with his two-way game, and his scoring ability has to come around sometime. Like, he always starts slow. Last year still ended up with 25 goals. We'll see how healthy he is this season, but he's still 23, turns 24 in January. He's still building up into his prime.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was Jamie Drysdale's draft. Like, he's the same age as Drysdale.
2020, yeah.
We talked about last week, I believe, that with Forster, it sounds like he's going to be good to go to start the season. But we have seen with Joel Farabee, if you miss the whole offseason recovering from an injury, you're going to have a slow start to the season. So Forster has started slow twice now. And if he starts slow again, I can already hear, oh, he's just a slow starter. He's just not that good. And I'm like, well, he did have a off-season surgery and recovery and wasn't able to do all the things that are, go into the training for a full 82-game NHL season. And also, if he's a late bloomer, if he comes on in the spring, that's when the playoffs are, baby. That's when you want a guy hitting their stride.
Yeah, his career numbers pre-All-Star break, 45 points, 24 goals in 105 games. Post-All-Star break, 24 goals, same number of goals, 38 points in 61 games. Yeah. Like, I know we talk about, like, okay, those games don't matter as much when it's a team that's tanking, or not tanking, but a team that's not in the playoffs. You can't. We saw that with Morgan Frost. He had a great second half, and then that was talked about, and he was like, no, that's just not who he was. But I don't think that's the case with Forster. I think Forster is showing what he can be, maybe getting lucky a little bit on those. His shooting percentage in February is 29% in his career. In April is 23. So, he'll regress to the mean at some point, but he also has to regress to the mean in the first half. And maybe he's not fully healthy to start the year. And maybe they're like, all right, Alex Bump, you had a great camp. Forster, we can put you on IR for, the first few weeks of the season. Let's see how Bump does. Let's get Forster up to speed. And then, that's a great problem to have given all the competition they're going to have in training camp.
And I was listening to the PHLY podcast from, I think it was yesterday or 2 days ago. And, there's going to be some stiff competition for the Phantoms too. So, that all throughout the organization, these guys are going to have to earn their keep. Yeah, this second chart is the one that I really wanted to talk about.
All right, you have Forster here in the blue. You have Mr. Svechnikov in the red, and then Lafreniere in the orange here, and Kako in the green.
Capo.
Yeah. Forster is right along there on the Kako train there. Kako was second overall in the Jack Hughes draft year. Lafreniere was first overall, I believe.
He was.
And then Svechnikov was top 3. Was he third overall in one of those drafts? Yeah, he's taken a step back, but I feel like that's also kind of Carolina's system where you're just not going to get players scoring a bunch. But yeah, Forster.
He's also been dealing with injury. Like that shortened season, he scored a lot, but he also only played like 50 or 60 games or something. 64 games. Yeah. 64 games. So that's cool. But if you're only going to play 60 something games, that's not exactly valuable, especially if you're going to be hampered for the playoffs due to an injury. So, I mean, those guys were all top 3 selections, and Forrester's right there with them in terms of, performance. And it just goes to show, even if you are getting a top 3 pick, you are not guaranteed to get a star level player. No. And it depends on the draft. Like, we went over 2023 to start. Bedard is a potential generational talent. Then you have Carlson and Fantilli, who are franchise level centers. You have Michkov, who could also be one of those just extraordinary perennial Hart Trophy Art Ross contenders. That was the year to tear it down. That would have been the year to do it, because if you were drafting in the top 4, top 5, you were getting a potential franchise altering player. You look at the 2024 draft, or even this most recent one, who's the franchise altering player? In 2024, it's Macklin Celebrini. But beyond that, I don't know if any of those guys. Demidov, maybe.
Yeah, he could be. Lindstrom, if he stays healthy, he could potentially be. But that was a huge risk. Was Seneca the second pick?
Yeah,
that was wild.
No, third. He was third.
Levchinov was the second pick there, yeah.
And then this year, like, Matthew Schaefer, great prospect. If he's Miro Heiskanen, that's a really good player. But at the top of this draft, you're not getting the potential straight shot to a franchise-altering talent.
Yeah. So
the Flyers got 2 potential franchise-altering talents in Michkov for sure, hopefully Martone. And they did it without the top 3 picks that you would normally have to strip to the studs for. So,
like the Chicago Blackhawks have tried to do in recent years, looking back on their draft starting in 2022, 7th overall, Kevin Korchinski, who's he's a defenseman. I think he's more defensive, has 17 points in 92 games. Frank Nazar, who just signed a big contract extension, despite only playing 56 games, 27 points. 2 solid players to kind of build around there. Connor Bedard, obviously, is going to be their franchise. They hope generational talent, but that word is thrown around way too much, in my opinion. Oliver Moore, 19th overall. Levchinov, we'll see how he does. In his first full season in the NHL, and then Frondell, this past draft. Like, I would have loved Frondell at 6, but I don't know if that's going to age well. Taking Frondell at 3 over Martone, over some of those other guys. I feel like he's a great 2C. Maybe he's can turn into like a Barkov light at best, but I don't think he can be. I don't know if he can be the 1C on a Stanley Cup winning team, which they might not need because they have Bedard.
Yeah, well, he might also just be a winger at the NHL level too. In which case, he's Bedard's running mate, and then they still need a 2C. So, I guess they think Frank Nazar is their 2C, considering that contract. But no, they have so much quantity in the Chicago system, but that team is miserable. Watching them play hockey sucks. The players are miserable. They are not. Like, I don't know how they dig themselves out of that. I've said it before. The one team I think that actually nailed it is the San Jose Sharks. They stunk. They are really bad. But not once have I watched a Sharks game and thought those players looked miserable. Those players, I didn't feel miserable watching a Sharks team that ended up with Macklin Celebrini and Michael Misa.
Yeah.
They had vibes and energy. Like, there wasn't this pressure, I guess. Or I don't know how to describe it, but they just looked like a team that was not feeling the weight of a team that was tanking.
Yeah. And they were having fun. They knew they were going to be bad. There were no miserable veterans around, and they're probably the closest thing to tanking properly right now. Like, they're going to be going to have a top pick again next year. Probably going to be in the McKenna sweepstakes. Going to have a good option there. They got Misa. They got Ravensburgen with their other first round pick this year. Good swing there. Try to get a franchise goalie. They also have Askarov already as well. They traded for. Obviously, Macklin Celebrini in 2024. Sam Dickinson at 11. I feel like that's a great pick.
I'm still high on him. I think he's going to be great.
Yeah. Will Smith. I mean, Will Smith, 45 points in 74 games last year. That's a pretty solid start to his career. Don't know too much about Quentin Musty there. And yeah, before that, I mean, William Eklund, they got 7th overall in 2021. He's looking like a solid player there as well
Really
in
good.
San Jose. So
Yeah.
Sharks are tanking the right way, which I feel like San Jose, even though you'd be like, oh, who wouldn't want to live in California? Probably Canadians who want to play in a real hockey market. So like they have to tank. They have to get these high picks and try to like, grow with the team. And we'll see if they're able to land any big free agents in the coming years. I know they got Toffoli, they got Jeff Skinner. Last year they had Granlund. Like
I was just gonna say, well, Granlund was a cap dump, and so was Wallman, and those both turned into first round picks, which is hilarious. Tyler Toffoli was the best signing that team ever made, because anytime there's like a social media post from the Sharks, it's just Tyler Toffoli cheesing. Like, he seems to have brought such good vibes to this young team to not let them get so down. And I think the other thing is, it was in the start of the 2023-24 season. The Sharks were on like what, a 13-game losing streak, and then they played the Flyers, and of course, they beat the Flyers. Right before that game, Mike Greer, the GM, had gone into the locker room and was like, "This is unfucking acceptable. You guys get your act together and play some damn hot." Like, he walked in and was like, "Yeah, we're bad. I know it. But you do not, that is not an excuse to phone it in for the rest of the season." And they didn't. They went out and beat the Flyers.
Mike Greer has done a fantastic job, I think, as Sharks GM. Flying under the radar, I think, a bit, getting out of the Carlson contract, trading Hurdle as well for a decent return. Burns, buying out Vlasic. It's only going to really affect them the next 2 years. Logan Couture getting hurt didn't really help them much in terms of winning now. But yeah, Tyler Toffoli, he won a cup early in his career with the Kings, has bounced around since then. He seems to be like a really, really fun guy in the room there for Celebrini and Smith.
And more for the Sharks too. There's only one move that doesn't make the perfect sense to me, and that's trading Timo Meier, because he was young enough that you could see a world where he would grow with the team. I think he was like 25 or 26 when they traded him to Jersey. And a lot of people are going to point to that and being like, you should have traded Travis Konechny.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. That's kind of like the comparison. Well, that's the difference, though.
But here's the thing. I don't think Meier had the leadership cachet that Konechny has in the Flyers locker room. Like, I'm sure he's like a good dude and everything, but it didn't seem like he was the voice or the heart of that team, because Hurdle was still there, Carlson was still there, Burns had just left. Like, it was the old
Couture was still
there.
Couture
was still healthy.
Yeah.
He was kind of like in a bridge place between the old guys and the young players, and it didn't really fit. Konechny, meanwhile, had taken the time. Giroux was gone for a few years. Coots had been injured. It was him and Scott Lawton basically leading the veteran charge on this team. So he filled in, and by the time his contract renewal came around, it was like, yeah, we got to keep this guy.
Yeah, I feel like a better comparison for him with the Flyers might be Owen Tippett, where Tippett wasn't like Konechny, where he's established, but in between, you can see that he might be able to be a piece. And the Flyers gave him, a contract that we liked at the time. Still looks decent.
Okay,
$6.2 million, cap going up. Not going to be horrible. Like
it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, I don't
know. If he scores 25 this year, it's fine. Like, I don't care if he scores 25 goals.
Yeah.
If he pops 35 one year when they're actually trying to get in the playoffs, then perfect. Like, that's what I'm hoping for.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to see more from Tippett. But even if this is what he is, 25 goals, that's fine for $6 million there.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Any other points from your article you wanted to touch on here for the podcast listeners?
Let me see here. Just one more for Tyson Forrester. I did a little research at Evolving Hockey, and I used their expected goals above replacement, XGAR, which is just trying to assign a number that encapsulates a player's expected impact on a team. And I did it for the entire careers of Forster, Rossi, Holtz, Quinn, Svechnikov, Kakko, and Lafreniere. And out of the 24 total season, or dozen or so total seasons there, Forster had the second and fifth best xGAR, like, of those players. He's just, I don't want to say he's underrated, but I don't think Flyers fans fully understand just how good of a young player he is relative to some of his peers. And that you can find those guys later in the draft. It happens. It's a crapshoot sometimes, and tearing it down for that top pick, and then you get, I don't know, Alexander Holtz. It just feels like a waste then, doesn't it?
No, absolutely, it would there. If you're still logged into Evolving Hockey, I'd be interested to hear what Mark Stone's xGAR was early on in his career. If you can pull it, if not, that's fine. Maybe we'll throw it in the comments or something. But because that's who everyone compares him to, and so it's like he's like all right, he could be Mark Stone. And yeah, you mentioned Flyers fans don't realize how good he is. Also, fans around the league don't realize how good he is. I was at the MSG for his hat trick game on late in the season, and with my friend who's a Rangers fan, and Tyson Forster scored. He was like, who's Tyson Forster? I was like, he's a solid young player. And of course, Forster goes on to have a hat trick in that game. So I was like, yeah, he's good. Don't worry. 25 goals there. Looking at Mark Stone's early career. All right, you got it.
Yeah. Mark Stone's early career. Oh, they don't do it by age, they do it by season.
Okay, so go from 2014 to 2017.
2014 to 17. All right, 14-15, his xGAR 14.4. The following year, 12.3. The following year, 17.7.
Yeah.
And then Tyson Forster, 11.5, 13.3. It's not that far off. I mean, his Tyson Forster's sophomore year is better than Stone's third year, I guess, there. But yeah.
Mark Stone, looking back on those Senators rosters, at age 23 season, he had the most points among forwards with 61. Erik Karlsson, though, had 82 points.
Jeez.
So Mark Stone came in and was an immediate impact for the Senators. Sixth round pick by the Senators. What a great find there by Ottawa.
It's crazy, man. But maybe he gets there. I don't want to say Forster is the next Mark Stone, but I think there's a world.
Yeah, it's a solid comparison. Mm-hmm. And there's not many two-way wingers that people know about. No. Unless you watch a lot of teams, a lot of games, Mark Stone is the guy who could win a Selke as a winger.
Mm-hmm. And Mitch Marner, but Mitch Marner and Tyson Forster are two completely different,
very, very different players.
But yeah, I think that's about. I think that puts a nice little bow on that article. Just guys, they're not going to tank. They didn't tank, and they still got the players that they would have gotten if they had tried to tank. It all came together in the end. It's all working out. Everything's going to be fine. And you can't just keep chasing high draft picks, because if you do that, you're the Buffalo Sabres. You're the Edmonton Oilers in the early 2010s. And for the record, the Oilers had, who were their first overall picks? Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Taylor Hall, Nail Yakupov, and Connor McDavid. Which one of those is actually worth a first overall pick?
Connor McDavid. Yeah.
One of those guys is worth a first overall pick. One of those guys was worth tearing it all down for. Taylor Hall and Nugent-Hopkins, good players, fine players.
Yeah.
I'm not stripping my organization to the studs to draft those guys.
No. I will always hate Taylor Hall for stealing the Hart Trophy from Claude Giroux in the 2017-18 season.
Unbelievable. I wasn't even a fan, and I still feel mad about it.
Looking at the Sabres, I didn't realize they haven't even drafted that highly in recent years. This past year, 9th, they got Merca. Year before, 14th, Hellenius. Year before, Benson at 13th.
Hold up. They traded back in 2024. That's how the Sharks got up to get Dickinson. Because they had, I believe,
it was 11th, I guess?
Yeah, because the 14th pick, I think, was Pittsburgh's, and it came over in the Carlson deal. So then they traded up from 14 to 11 and drafted Dickinson. But they did it 3 days before the draft rather than day of.
Yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway, continue.
Benson, 13th overall. Savoy, 9th overall. Who they traded him for McLeod, right, from Edmonton.
Yep.
And 2021 Owen Power, first overall. Good defenseman, but he's just Jack
He's
Quinn
good.
there. You had him. Dylan Cousins, who they finally traded away as well. Like Darlene, Middlestat,
Darlene is lit. I'll say Darlene is legit.
Yeah, but Darlene,
500 games already? That's crazy,
I know.
dude.
Darlene shows like Schaefer. Schaefer can be a Darlene type, but the Islanders have to build around him, which it looks like they are getting Aitchison and Eklund, and they still have Barzell and
trading Dobson.
Yeah, building for the future. But yeah, you have to build around them, and the Sabres are just ripe for the picking. They're the thrift shop of the NHL, and hopefully the Flyers can pop some tages later this season.
Oh, I've only got 20 million in my pocket.
Yeah. I did want to touch on a few things on the 25 under 25. Of course, make sure you guys check out those videos on the Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel. Jacob and Maddie did a great job. You and Maddie had the honorable mentions before that. You and whoever else will have that out for the next 5. I think probably next Monday. But just I'm looking at our ballots compared to the overall ballots. First, starting with some players that weren't on the top 25 or even honorable mentions who we had ranked. Alexei Kolosov.
Okay.
You have Alexei Kolosov at 25.
And I'm the only person who ranked him. My thought process, if you guys follow Broad Street Hockey, I've been going into the comments of every
God bless you, the comments.
God bless me. I've been going in the comments of every 25 under 25 article, because on the early ones, people were like, we want to hear the thought process. We want to hear why the voters chose these people, these prospects at this position. And I'm like, you know what? Sure, I'll do that. I'll explain my process. I picked Kolosov. He doesn't turn 24 till January. He is so young by goaltending standards. Because we've talked about this before, 27, 28 is the year that most goalies start to hit their prime.
Yeah.
This is the last year I'm going to have him there if things continue as they did last year. I don't know if there is a path for him to becoming an NHL goaltender, but he has to accept that it's not in the NHL right now, or if the decision is being made for him by powers that we can't see. I feel bad for the kid if that's why he won't have an NHL career, is because other people are making these decisions for him and he just has to go along with it. Mm-hmm. That's what sucks. But I rated him there just because at his age, that's still really young for a goalie. There's still a lot of developmental runway. He'll be eligible for the list next year, but if this is kind of the path that he is forced to walk, I can't see a way for him to becoming a regular NHL goalie.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair to have him there. It's just, I feel like, everyone is way too down on him because we spent last off season talking about him.
Well, we watched the regular season.
And then he shot the bed. So we're all completely sick of him. But it's a fair point to say he still has some runway if he can, take some advice from goalie coaches and whatnot to hone his game.
It's not just the coaching, it's the environment. Like, he needs to play in the AHL, but if either he refuses or someone is telling him he can't play in the AHL, like that's the end of it. Like, he'll have to go back to the KHL, which is fine, I guess, but then you're banking on him coming over at the same age Ivan Fedotov was when he came over, and hopefully having figured out the North American game. We saw how that worked out too, and it didn't.
Yeah.
So this is kind of it. If he comes to the US and he's going to play in the AHL in some sort of tandem with Carson Bjarnason, there's a path for him to become an NHL goalie. But if that isn't what happens, then
he should be happy with being the AHL tandem now, because AHL is not like the NHL. NHL, there's usually days off between games. AHL, there's sometimes 3 games in a row, weekend sets. Like, both goalies are going to play. And Bjarnason, if the Flyers have an injury to Ersson or Vladar, they're not going to call up Bjarnason unless he's showing that he is like really ready ahead of schedule. Like, Kolosov would be the guy to be called up. So like, who knows if he's going to report to training camp, but he has an opportunity to prove himself in the AHL behind a much improved team, new coaching staff there. I understand giving Kolosov kind of a little bit of a clean slate, but he has a lot. he dug a huge hole for himself, and now he has
Huge hole.
to climb out of it. Yeah.
Huge hole.
Yeah.
I'm looking at your rankings here.
Yeah, I have my
And
rankings up as
who do
well.
you have? Who do you have? You've got Hunter McDonald at 24, and I didn't rank him. So
Hunter
that's
McDonald,
interesting to me.
24. That's where he ended up on the final ranking there. I did
Matthew Gard,
realize
21.
Matthew
Max
Gard,
Westergaard,
21 was too
25.
high. Max Westergaard, I think I mentioned last week, was kind of recency bias because it was right after the summer showcase.
Sure.
So, and he's always produced wherever he's been. Matthew
Extremely
Gard,
young. Extremely young. I think
young.
he's like a September birthday.
September 3rd, yes. So a week from Wednesday, he'll be turning
Yeah.
18 there. Yeah, Matthew Gard was just a second round pick that I was just going in order with. Both of us high on the ruiner there. You had Hecky Ruinen at 16. I had him 22. You discussed that with Maddie, so make sure people go check that out. Neither of us had Cole Knuble mentioned, who I think ended up being 25. Gendron as well. McDonald, yeah. I did realize also I had a hole there with Helge Grans. I should have included him probably around where you did, around 20. You had him at 19. I should have probably had him around where those second round picks were. But I read the write up. I forget who wrote it, but they did a fantastic job. And they're like, yeah, this is what he is. He's probably a third pair guy, can maybe play up second pair in a pinch if he has to. And I just like these second round picks that potentially have higher ceilings. Jack Berglund, we're also both, I think that article came out today. You're 21, I'm 16. He was 20th. So yeah, I mean, we're getting to the point where I'm going through our rankings here, and we're pretty close on.
Yeah.
Me, I'm just saying, me and you in general are pretty step in step here on most of these. But once we get towards the top, we'll have some conversations.
No, honestly, for me, I think the back end of the 25 under 25 is the most interesting because that's where you get the most variance. Once you get into the top half, that's when people start kind of like coming together over certain prospects and players, you know.
Yeah, the range of so from 2 to 6, there was a range of 3, 4, 3, 4, and 6, and then 7 there was a range of 11. So we're some debates to be had there, but like us two, I don't know if it's just like we have a hive mind from the podcast and we know what each other's thinking, but we're pretty step in step besides a few players here and there.
Yeah, the one guy I want to give it a shout out to as well is Noah Powell. Noah Powell, just a cool story. I mean, some people were like, "Why would you rank him over like Cole Knuble?" And I'm like, "Dog, I just like him. I just like him. He's got a great story. He's a fun player. If he makes it, you're gonna love him." So
yeah,
when you're ranking in the 23, 24, 25 range, you sometimes just pick guys that you like.
It's vibes. It's vibes from 20 to 25. It's absolutely vibes there.
And with the way that with how many prospects are in the pool right now, if you wanted to break it into tiers, you could say that there were other guys within that same tier as Noah Powell for me. I just chose to highlight him over Cole Knuble. Cole Knuble probably would have been 26, 27. And from I don't know, 21 to 30 is all the same tier to me. You know what I mean? It's so
yeah, I didn't rank Cole Knuble. They had me down as having Knuble at 13, which is where I had someone else. I did not rank Knuble that high. But looking at Knuble's stats, he's a solid player. Notre Dame's 39 points in 34 games. Can be a ceiling probably a 3C, but you need a 3C. You need a good 3C to win the playoffs. So, and he'll have a long leash because of his name, especially with the Flyers.
Yep, former Flyer.
So vibes. It's all about vibes there. And we asked for some questions here in the Discord. If you're not yet in the Discord, we opened it up to everybody, not just subscribers, a while ago now, but we have not been in there. I'm going to be more active in there. Joe's going to be more active. Everyone's staying. They're trying to be more active, but we'll see how that goes. We did have a few questions here. I want to touch on this one from BJ Wanland. What's the general preseason vibe surrounding the Flyers? I feel like it's kind of similar to last year, where it's like, all right, let's see what happens. Maybe there's higher expectations this season because they got Dvorak, they got Zegras, they got Vladar. They might have a decent power play. Like playoffs, you can actually make a logical argument for this season. Last season, it was like, all right, you're being a bit optimistic if you're thinking about the playoffs. But I think this year, but it's a wide playoffs. It's a wide range of outcomes.
Yep.
Like, what's Zegras going to be? Can Couturier hold up for a whole season? He was great at parts. Is Michkov going to get better? Is Michkov going to have a sophomore slump? What's the goaltending going to do? Power play, like
new coach.
Like, yeah. So they could easily be a top 4 team in the Metro. I don't really like anyone after Carolina and the Devils. I know people are high on the Rangers, but they also could be like a bottom 10, bottom 5 team if Zegras just isn't himself. He can't play at center. Couturier looks another year older. Ariston's Ariston again, and Vladar is just similar to Ariston, under 900. Like, it's a wide range of outcomes. So it's like, all right, let's see what happens. Let's have some fun here.
Let's roll the dice. Buy the ticket, take the ride. The vibes are good. We've got Michkov again. We've got some new toys, I guess, in Trevor Zegras to see how that turns out. If they stink, they stink. And it's like, well, it happens.
Yeah.
But also the Metro is just so bad.
Yeah.
It's so bad, dude.
Really bad. Yeah. One of these next episodes, we got to go over what the Metro did in the offseason and where we think the Flyers are this season for the future. Sure. Like, see where they're at ranking them. But yeah, the vibe is just like, all right, let's see what happens. Should be a fun year. You got Michkov. Zegras can be fun. Tippett can be fun. Connecting is always fun. Hopefully Drysdale can be fun. Like, Brink, Forster take a step forward. Like, there's a lot of players to be excited about. But we'll see if they meet those expectations.
We'll have to do some hot takery when we get close to the season. Yes. I think York unshackled from John Tortorella is going to put us all to shame for ever doubting him.
I hope so. I hope so there. And yeah, there's also an exciting thing about, going into the season is the roster isn't set. I feel like last year they were like, all right, there's some training camp battles because they have to say that. But like, you knew who was going to make the roster. And now you got Bump in the mix. You got Gurbankin. Who's going to be the 4C? Is Dvorak going to be the 4C? Is it going to be Obels? Is it going to be Carson Dorwart, who is representing the Flyers at the NHLPA Rookie Showcase for some reason?
Why not?
There's a lot of questions there. And, kind of another question here from the Discord from J-Ro. Kind of get a little bit hot takey here. Pre-camp prediction. Who is a surprise player who does not make the team? Who has the most to prove in camp? Joe, take this one here.
Boy. Well, in our lineup predictions, I've been saying Nick Delorier is going to be there on night 1 in the lineup. So I think the surprise player who does not make the team would be D'Lo if he maybe gets waived or doesn't make the team.
That's not a fun answer, Joe. That's not a fun answer.
Oh, fine. You want the fun answer? I don't know. Garnet Hathaway. No, Garnet Hathaway's making this team. Zamula. It would be Zamula. That would be, I guess, the surprise for me.
To not make the team. Yeah, that would be. I don't know who I would be. It's Bumper Luchenko. I feel like they have the most to prove in camp, and I feel like I would be surprised. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised either way, but the answer, who has the most to prove in camp, it's definitely those young two. I think it's can Luchenko have another great camp and prove it wasn't just John Tortorella wanting a center to put him in the NHL? Can he be a bottom 6 center for the Flyers this season? Bump, obviously. Flyers can easily be like, all right, Forster's healthy. Go back down to the AHL, play top line minutes. We'll put Gurbankin up there. So I'm not honed in on any individual player yet. I guess I'm high on Luchenko. I'm higher than most people are on him making the team, but I don't know if there's anyone I would be shocked if they don't. I guess like a Zamula type, but I don't think he's waiver eligible. I think he'll be a third pair guy.
He's not.
So I don't know if there's anyone I would be too shocked about that did not make the team.
Yeah, you just mentioned being the only one high on Luchenko. I think if he makes the team, it is a surprise.
Okay.
I think he's the surprise to make the team.
I feel like a lot of people would be surprised. I feel like a lot of people would be surprised if Luchenko made it. Like, all right, you got Couturier, you got Zegras, Cates, Dvorak. You can call up Abels. Like, you have guys to just fill that hole. Let's see what Luchenko, Dorwart. So, yeah, but Luchenko, I'm going to write on this. We'll talk about this later. But the Flyers, I feel like the Flyers have to have him on the team just for, not even for this season, but just for seeing what they have, proving that he can be a 3C. Zegras or Couturier can be a 2C, and then they can go out and get a big fish next summer and be like, all right, you come in, we can contend. It's not like you come in, we're still figuring out who's our third line center. There's a lot of moving pieces there.
I mean, I think they're in a better position this season as well because they're not going to be forced to carry 3 goaltenders like they were last year. So they can set up a sort of rookie rotation in the forwards, because it's a 23-man roster, right? So you've got 12 forwards, 6 defensemen, 2 goalies. That's 20 players.
Yep.
Yeah.
3 extras.
3 extras. You get 2 forwards and a defenseman. So you can get Bump, Luchenko, Delorier as your like 3 in a rotation. And then on defense, maybe you pick I don't know,
Grans and Jolson, Grans Gilbert, like one of those guys there.
Because the Flyers have shown they're not opposed to load management for their rookies.
Have they not? Have they not though? Like in
with
theory,
Luchenko, they didn't play him he was here for 10 games, but he only played 4, right? Like,
yeah, but we saw with Michkov, we thought that was going to happen a lot, but he played 80 games. Like he missed the 2 in Florida, and it was like, all right, they didn't sit him again.
That's true. That's a good point.
Yeah, like in theory, a rotation with Luchenko, get him in here and there, maybe sit him on back-to-back. It makes sense. It makes sense in a lot of other sports. Hockey, I don't know if they'll ever make that jump to the point where it's like, besides the Panthers, who have won back-to-back cups, and Matthew Tkachuk delayed his surgery now, so he could celebrate all summer, and now he's going to be back in time for the Olympics. Like, especially these guys here are looking to gain that experience, gain that stuff. But I would love to see like Luchenko make the team, even if he plays 60, 70 games, like give him a night off here and there. I think that's a lot more valuable than going back to the OHL.
I'm not opposed, but we'll see. But quickly, Gilbs, what are his Calder odds for?
What are Jet Luchenko's Calder odds? Let me where should I look for that? Do you have any idea?
I believe a website called FanDuel could help you with that.
FanDuel, our sponsor. Yeah. Thanks FanDuel again for sponsoring us here. Jet Luchenko still at 300 to 1 to win the Calder Trophy. So I feel like that's a better chance than Michkov leading the Rocket Richard. So that would be could be a good bet there with our good friends at FanDuel.
Yeah, it's a smart one.
Yeah. Okay. Before we sign off here, make sure you guys get us some questions in the Discord. Get some discourse going on in there. Questions on Twitter and Blue Sky as well. But I wanted to did you see the Flyers announce their new numbers for the new guys here?
I did. Vladar is 80. Dvorak is 22.
Dvorak's 22.
Yeah.
Jolson 47. I don't know what he's thinking coming in as a left-handed defenseman wearing number 47. That's not Andrew McDonald wore 47.
Oh,
Joe, before your time.
My first reaction is, that's Ronnie Attard's number.
Is he?
I think. Well, he's with the Oilers now, I believe, but I think Attard was 47 when he came up to the NHL.
Yeah, let me see here. So going back to 22, who do you think of when you think of 22?
Number 22?
If anybody.
Lucas Sedlak. Was he 22 or was he 23?
He was not 22. The most recent Flyers to wear 22, Jacob Pelletier last year. Brendan Lemieux wore 22.
Oh, God.
Dale Weiss, who is still shouting his spitting stuff out about the Flyers. Yeah. Luke Shen, Ben Holmstrom, Ville Leno, Mike Knuble. You know who else wore number 22 for the Flyers way back in 1985 to 1992? Do you have any guesses?
Oh, man.
Tick-tock. The clock's tick-tocking.
TikTok it, Rick Talk it, baby.
I wonder if Dvorak was like, all right, this is why I came here. I'm wearing your number. I'm going to do you proud.
All right. I respect that.
I like that. Yeah, then Juleson is 47. Some famous Flyers to wear 47. Yeah, Ronnie Attard, Andrew McDonald, Eric Wellwood, Lucas Spiza, and some other guys.
Pizza.
Kirby Law from 2001 to 2004. That's Kirby. That's a good name there. So Juleson,
one of my favorite characters in Super Smash Brothers.
Juleson 47. And then we have Gilbert is 48. Of course, Danny
Frosty.
Briere, Morgan Frost, Robert Haig. Robert Haig wore 48 before he changed to 8, apparently. Brendan Lemieux also wore 48. I guess he changed his number. I don't know. I don't know what happened there, because was Frost a different number? I don't know. No, Frost had it from 2020 to 2025. So I don't know what happened there. And then we have Dan Vladar is number 80. The first number 80 in Flyers history.
Sure is. That's a cool number. I don't know. I like these like weird numbers.
Yeah, I do too. We've seen it in the NFL. Receivers always used to wear in the 80s, and I think they changed the rules so they could wear other numbers now. Now they wear like lower numbers. They wear like, I think AJ Brown's 11, Devontae Smith is 6. So like they're all over the place there. Okay, that's the jersey numbers. I think that's there. It. That's gonna just about do it. Yeah, we got here to a good hour there for this episode. Yeah. Joe, where can people find you on the socials?
You can find me writing at broadstreethockey.com, and you can find me on Blue Sky at jfdemarini.bsky.social. Mr. Gilbert, where can they find you besides in a jersey that says the number 48?
Of course, I may have to get that there. You can follow me on Blue Sky at ryangilbert.bsky.social. You can also find me in the Broad Street Hockey Discord. Hit me up in there. Any questions, any feedback you have there. We appreciate the feedback you guys have been sharing. I think JP was in there reacting to our lineups there. So we appreciate all that. We want to have some, interaction with the listeners, make this feel like more like a community. Like it's not just us talking and you listening. It's let's interact. Let's have a good time here. That's what sports is all about. Sports is not about celebrating. It's about losing together.
It's about being miserable in a group. And like, it's something I'm trying to do too. One of the reasons I'm in the comments section is like, I don't like to just throw an article out into the ether and then I'm done with it. Like, if anyone here has ever published anything, be it music or art or writing, once you put something out there, you immediately are like, oh man, there's still stuff I want to add to this. There's still stuff I want to talk about. And being able to do that, whether in the comment section or the Discord, that's a privilege to have, because not every creator gets to do that.
Yeah. So so sometimes the negative comments are overwhelming, but it's always good to go in there and interact with the readership.
Yeah. We'll just roll our eyes and move on.
Yes. All right. Of course, make sure you subscribe to BroadStreetHockey.com, $5 a month, Broad Street Hockey YouTube channel, and the Broad Street Hockey podcast feed, wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple too. I'll start reading those here at the end of the show. But until next time, thanks for listening.
Go Flyers.